Hello, my lovey. We are here at the ZFG Living Podcast with the magical Jennifer Bloome. Welcome, Jennifer.
Thanks, Mel. I've been looking forward to this conversation, so I can't wait to see where it goes.
Because you know it's going to go a lot of places.
It is. I'm ready for it.
Well, we were just chatting about how we have low points in our lives, and then like a little crack of light gets in, and then the crack gets bigger, and then all of a sudden we're in this gorgeous, juicy, wonderful life that we're living. And it's like, how did I get here? You know?
Yeah, because when you're in the low point, there doesn't seem to be any light, does there?
Near. And we have a craptastic shared experience of being in bankruptcy. So let's dive into that dark place.
Yeah, I came from a family that was really good with money.
Okay.
My dad's job was very much around budget and financing for a major university. And I had that Christmas club account when I was little. I had a Tiger bank that I got an allowance and I was supposed to put X amount in the bank and, that little bank. So, so just the fact that I ended up in a space of bankruptcy is like that, it just added to the lowness, right? I was supposed to know better.
Right.
And there were all kinds of external reasons why I got
Mhm.
there. I mean, there's a lot of things where I could point to and say, you know, surgeries for my kiddos without medical insurance and unemployment and spending down the 4. I mean, I did all the things I was supposed to do. And then all these, I could have said, I just was super unlucky. And it sure felt like that in the moment. Let me just say that.
Right. And I think that there are circumstances that combine that, whether you call it luck or, a series of bad events or whatever you want to call it. I mean, we're all a surgery not covered by insurance or without insurance away from rock freaking bottom. And are you
Yeah,
going to tell your kids they can't have a surgery?
right. Yeah, like, so you don't need your knee. It's okay. You're 16. You don't need that knee. Eh, right. And you're not, right. You're not going to do that. And I think that, well, this is a little off to the side a little bit, but I think one of the reasons why money is such it creates a lot of tension is because there is that part of us that's terrified that
Mm,
because we are, one circumstances away from, losing a lot of things,
right.
but, so at the moment when we made the decision to seek bankruptcy, there was some relief because there have been, as you do, right, when you're catching up with things, but there was so much shame around it,
Oh, yeah.
so much shame. And it was a persistent sense of knowing that it didn't have to, that, how do I want to say this? That sense that I felt being pulled forward. I don't even know that I knew what that was, but I
Mhm.
knew I didn't have to stay there, right?
Right.
And I had this background in mind body work, and I went searching and I found all of these tools and I was starting to take the edge off of things. And that's when I met somebody who changed my life and introduced me to a paradigm that's all about soul.
Oh,
And that's when
juicy.
things started to rapidly change, right? It was so, the bankruptcy led me right to this place that I had been searching for and I couldn't even named it before that,
Right.
right?
You can't articulate what it is you need, but we know. Like
Yeah.
deep inside, we crave what we need, and that does pull us forward, or it can pull us forward, but there's a lot of static it sort of makes grist and friction. So you find this person.
Yeah. So I find this person and I learn all about my own soul. And woohoo! And what I found out, Mel, is that so this is a paradigm, it's called soul language. And one of the languages is all about your soulful personality. My soulful personality is called capitalist. And capitalist is all about making more of things. Well, I was simply making more of debt. I was making more
Yeah.
pain. I was making more suffering. And I was using that as a noodle to beat myself up with, right?
Right.
There's something wrong with me, mea culpa, I'm wrong, I'm bad, blah, 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 blah. But finding out this piece of information was like, oh, so all of these things that are unfolding for me is because I'm not standing in my own light. What if I just decide, and thinking, oh, no, but I have to fix all these things,
Right.
right? That the old thought is, well, I have to fix all of it in order to stand in the light. No,
Oh, yeah.
no.
And the work has to be so hard.
Yeah, right.
It has to be hard. Like there is no achievement unless it's hard and difficult and grueling. And it's like a badge of honor that you suffered.
Yes.
And that's just patent horse patootie. Like,
It
no, it doesn't have to be hard.
it is. That's right. That's right. It doesn't have to be hard. And we don't have to spend years earning and proving our worthiness and all of that. You get
Oh,
to
can we
just,
eradicate paying dues?
yeah.
That needs to
That
go.
that's a conversation I have with so many people. I was talking to a family member the other day, and they were explaining what a wonderful place they were in financially, and it was like, wow, this is just really great. And then came the, yeah, but we worked really hard and to get this degree, and we did
Mm-hmm.
this, and we did. I'm like, how about you're just in a really great place,
Yeah. And
right?
you
I mean,
deserve to be. There's nothing wrong with that.
there's nothing wrong with that.
Good for you. That's
Yeah, but
wonderful.
yeah, but we have this sense of needing to justify, don't we? Like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so this is really great, but here's all the reasons why I deserve it. So that way it won't go away.
And deserve has nothing to do with it.
It's nothing to do because we're all deserving.
We
Every
all,
single one
yeah,
of us. We're
by
born that
virtue
way.
of breathing, by being alive, we deserve all the good things,
Yeah,
all
you're
the good
walking around on this
feelings.
planet. Yeah,
Yep.
worthy. Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's, I mean, holy guacamole, how many hours and probably months worth of meditations have I done to feel that I'm worth love, to feel that I'm worthy of success, that I'm worthy of having a good life. I don't have to somehow buy it with my suffering.
Oof, buy it with your suffering. Gosh.
I'm gonna go trademark that. Mm.
Yeah, I think you should. Think you should. That subconscious script, right? That I call that the abundance identity. If we're talking specifically around resources, right?
Hmm.
We've got this identity, right? Who we are, and we have an identity that's around abundance. And depending on what we learned growing up, right? Depending on all of our experiences, we make all these decisions, and it goes bing, 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 bing. It fills in, right? That part of our brain fills in, and then anything that doesn't match it feels dangerous, right?
Right.
The brain goes, yeah, nope, that's nope, can't believe that, can't believe that. That's too far out of the box.
Yeah, we didn't believe that yesterday, and you're here alive and fine. You know,
So, mhm,
lizard brain is with us just to keep us alive,
mhm.
100%. And since we are alive right now, then whatever we did before is how we're going to do it again. Jennifer, thank you so, so much for being on the show. And I'm sure if people want to reach out to you, obvi, they're going to check the show notes. But do you have any messages for our beloved listeners?
I think that permission to be, right? The permission to receive more, the permission to ask for more, the permission to enjoy, right? That is it. It's so important, right? Because when we don't do that, the image that I have is like, you go, you go, you go, you go, you do, you do, you do, you do, and we become this dried out sponge, right? And
Right.
then we receive a little bit, and it just kind of bounces off because we can't even, right? So
Hmm.
the right being
Yeah,
in
we're like
that,
an Adobe brick.
yeah, exactly. Give yourself that space, give yourself the permission to have, give yourself permission to receive.
Yeah, you heard it here for Jennifer Bloome on ZFG Living Podcast. Boom! Mic drop.